Good morning. What's going on? Good morning, good morning. How's our week been? Everybody flying? We have a banger of a week? Or what was it like? Very, very, very high chance that we take London high. And a very small chance that we take any lows afterwards. Morning, buddy. Right, so it actually looks like we're going to take it right now. Liquidity sweep sort of got held up underneath. Haven't taken any trades yet, but that would have been a valid trade idea if you're trading very aggressively, looking to take some scoops in this manipulation to then run London high. But in terms of systematic, not much. Not much. If you look at our daily, we've completed the daily low. So major objective already done. What the heck is this? Get rid of that. Get rid of all this. There we go. So there goes London high. We still have Asia and London that we did not take yesterday. So what ended up happening from a macro standpoint is we bounced off that daily area that we saw on Thursday. We had this major movement Wednesday. We then accumulated everybody that got them very, very interested in the continuation move yesterday, ran them out, and then we actually ran them out again today. I think we were trying to take this low at 35, but it was just too strong. Just a little bit too strong. And now London high is taken. Look at that 15-minute. Yikes. So about a 40% chance of taking London low afterwards. 40% chance. But I'm going to wait for something systematic today. I haven't taken anything yet. Morning, Rich. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, Andrew. A son, Andis, Sean, Structure, Goddamn, Naisha, and Very Dads. Hey, Lane, how you doing, buddy? 15's looking ugly, yeah. Yeah, Nasty Wick, goodbye. So, my morning, typically, I form a very, very strong direction, and I look to trade momentum in the morning. And that's if I take any trades in the first 5 minutes or so to try and achieve one of these objectives when volatility is at its highest. So that's already been done. So now I'm waiting to see if we can form some sort of structure and then continue on. As it stands right now, this is a key area of interest that if we trade back into it, we'd be monitoring that reaction to determine if we're going to get continuation or not. Right? As it stands right now, pretty much long anywhere and pray. That's not really how I trade. Boom, 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 boom. How's you guys' week been? Have we been flying or what? I think we've got some major news today as well with Jackson Hole. I think it's finalizing up. So this may be everybody speaking. We've also got Trump speaking at noon Eastern. And Powell's going to be speaking in about 18 minutes. So there could be some crazy movement when he says hello. Most expensive word in the market. Hello by the Fed chairman. Hey, Vebab, what's going on? Last couple mornings, I think the initial draw is pretty clear. Just wasn't able to get anywhere systematically. Yes, right? So the mornings to me, or at least the first bit, it's literally like, okay, and that's where kind of the freedom model came from. Manipulating where, and then how do we get involved for the actual move? Right? So it's not, you're not going to find like, beautiful, this, flip, it trades back in, it leaves, and this movement just goes on a rocket ship to our area. Right? That's beautiful when that happens. But it doesn't really happen that often. Now, if we get a sustained movement down, then fine. But usually it will grab, like sometimes it'll trade into like your beautiful SNDR and then go on a rocket ship, fine. Right? Maybe it barely stabbed into this breaker, maybe. I think that was certainly the attempt. And then fine, right? But no, there's no like, okay, what's going on here? Well, they bought, it closed here, they then swept everything out and it closed strong. Maybe in here. But that's all candlesticks. Yeah, I mean, this one kind of, if you're looking to stab into the SNDR, fine. It's already taken London highs. This is actually stabbing into this for an order block down. This closed. You've got your 5-minute candle, which isn't ideal, but then when you close above it, this actually stabs down into it, which achieved its objective here, but again. Yeah. So it's nice, you know. We analyze price. We're usually correct, and but not making any money off of it. Not exactly. Not much solace when you're like, hey, I know where it's going to go, but I don't get involved, right? And we have to get comfortable with that as traders. You knew 15 minutes opening in about 10 seconds? Excuse me. Pretty much long anywhere so far, right? Again, we've got these highs up at 70 we didn't take yesterday. Right, so 5, strong continuation, beautiful 15-minute. Nothing really structural, maybe down here. I think that would have been a valid attempt, at least to create a valid high and then trade up. Maybe they were scaling in short and we then ran them out. I don't really see tons of manipulation to really support all this, but who knows? That's why we have a system. Speaking of, woo! Speaking of, so we'll see what ends up happening in here. Stop run of epic proportions, maybe. Maybe. Definitely a market structure shift per ICT. Well, not definitely, actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. Woo! What are we getting those chart studies on school? We'll post a couple of them today from multi-time frame analysis. I did a little bit of work for it yesterday. Now, in the Discord as well, we'll do a, like, those of you guys that are here, do you guys want a live Q&A today? Do you guys have a whole bunch of questions on either the CSD content or whatever else that you guys want to answer some live questions with? Or some psychology questions on your current situation? Or do we just want to run away and have our weekend? I think this 5's a little sus. I think that was just a violent sell candle. Even if we're going to short, I think it should take that. But I mean, the 15's already swept. Like the 15's looking, and the 5 are both looking bullet or bearish. So it's giving me a moment to just pause. Would not be surprised if we end up squeezing them out. All this is done so far is create a valid high. Whoop! Now what? Yeah, we didn't do one on Sunday. I've been basically up to my eyes on the weekends. So we actually missed last Sundays, but we'll make up for it this week. Not good for bears. Not good for bears, but we'll see. And now we determine if this was, in fact, just creating a CSD point versus if we're actually going to run above here. Cleaning up all this juice and liquidity, which I think is the main draw. Could be kicking and screaming. Come on. Yep. London and Asia and smooth. Notice that this isn't a valid structural zone. We're kind of looking at this imbalance. We did sweep and fail. So we're very much heavily leaning on direction, but it very well could not be ready yet. And this is judging on a couple of things. Number one, the inability to close above this high. Concern for me. Right? I like how we respected this. But again, they've got to actually generate something. This, so far, has failed to make a new high. Now, I might chop around in here inside of this fractal, but I'm more wondering, are we going to stab down into this, or are we going to just crater? What exactly is going to go on? I think that aggressively, looking at a short, we haven't taken a higher time frame point of interest yet. Even the 50-minute hasn't taken the major objective high, right? Or your hourly. So very much long biased. 68.75 being the target. Just not a lot of ability to get involved. Not a lot of ability to get involved so far. It's wild. Sometimes it's a lot easier to trade based off of just kind of like this and where's my momentum? Well, we're bullish, flag, just long here, and away you go. Obviously that worked out quite lovely today. Every system has its day, doesn't it? All right, so looking to determine, do we fail at this flat bottom? Which is your CSD spot. If we get like a strong displacement through, we end up like closing underneath here, then you might get like a barely trap back in and then go, depending on whereabouts this taps into. If this taps into here, then I think this is functioning just as a pullback. And then we run higher. And that would end up being this being a range. Sweeping and failing, and away we go. If we fail from here, then we want to see a closure above the candle that took liquidity, and then we're gone. Something similar to that. Powell on the microphone in 4 minutes, 40 seconds. Not sure if I said more into Man Bear, TD Trade, Antigo, and picks. But if not, then I have now. Here we go. There's your liquidity. We got 94.25, 94.25. There she goes. Whoop. All the way. Mercy. Morning, on. What's going on, man? A very thin bid. There's going to be a massive movement here in about 50 seconds. Very, very thin bid. So they're treating Powell as a CPI type event. Caution. Morning, Yassine. Ooh. 25 seconds for fireworks. What are we going to get, lads? Woof! Goodbye. Wow. Wow. Wanted it. Couldn't get involved. Nasty business. And now what? That's the, yeah, there was this one and this one that I would have been very, very happy staying in a range for. Instead, we got a 200-point candle. Good, and then some. Now what? $242.25. Wow. Matt with the snag and the daily movement. We've taken the daily high now. Both of them, actually. Heading up towards this, I would say. The man said good morning. The man said good morning, and here we are. Woo! Even that candle alone, that little small doji that we've got right now is 20 points. Made up for yesterday. Nothing yet. ES isn't even on the chart. Clean up some drawings. Where are we heading to? Probably 600s. My goodness. So what to do but sit on your hands, eh? What to do but sit on your hands, watching the squeeze unfold as it does. Morning, Antonio. What's going on, buddy? 10:04. Right, so your five will be a massive candle. Be shocking if we didn't take the high. Who knows where this is going to pull back to, if it pulls back at all. When it drops, if it drops, well, assuming we don't go up for the rest of the day, so you'd expect it to drop, obviously. But, like, then what? All right, we've taken that flat bottom at 501. Cool. But then what? Right, you would expect this high to get ran. It's a new 5 minutes, a new everything pretty much. Right? So same sort of signature. At least the concern is the same sort of signature. Violent movement down, runs everybody out, and then maybe. Right? Now it's avoid longs, at least unless we get like a stall candle or something. But again, buying up here. Very, very, very aggressive. Even if we've got this idea. I think everybody in the world wants to long because they've missed that. That's not exactly conducive to strong trading. We'll see if we get something that shakes itself out. Right, you got a bearish engulfing candle here at the highs. That's only a 1 minute, mind you, but this will be interesting to see. Fireworks anyway. Fireworks anyways. I'm shocked we didn't take that low at 83s. Maybe not. Woo! Passed my challenge. Nice work. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a void at all costs unless you're trading small and you're trading momentum and you're very, very good with this. Failed to close. Currently over 12K in the green. Gotta love trade. Oh, hopefully that's not PA with hopefully that's not PA with your consistency rule. 130 points in the table, one candle. Yeah. Sounds about right. Kicking and screaming, so they are. As we muscle our way up to our daily point of interest. I think if we can't break through 80s now, it's going to be a bit of a drop, but we'll see. Major no man's land. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're still not at that daily area, right? I do think we take it. The question is, how far lower do we go? Still nothing for me yet. I think that's your first bullish candle. This is going to be very interesting. Wild stuff. Here it goes. Here it goes. Does it push it now? I think it should. I think that it should. Finally, eh? Let's see what we got. Boom. Yeah, do not short. As if you didn't have to know. Do not short. Right? Midpoint of that wick. Now that's just the wick, right? The open of this daily is 635. So we very well could, like, we were getting chopped around inside of the midpoint of that fair value gap. But you're finally in like a major target from the long side itself. Now, I mean, that is not to suggest to short any of this. Period. Woo. Just gonna sit for a minute, lads. Oop, that doesn't look good. That's also not what I want. Reload. Right, this sort of price action, you can hit momentum, but I mean, these candles are 30, 40 points. That very well could have just swept you out unless you had a wide stop, which is valid. So this type of PA is not exactly what I like. It's definitely not shortable. It's 100% longable, but You got to figure out exactly where that is, whether you long here and you get your momentum trade or not. I think definitely from a macro standpoint. From a macro standpoint, really, really nice to be looking for partial profits here if you guys are into swing trading and or options trading and whatnot. Now this is not a valid pullback. That high was 71.5. That closure was 70.75. So this, even though it was a little bit of an area of selling, our structural low is all the way down here. I half expected that to sweep. That would have been a decent area to get involved. How we got a sweep in there. I didn't really like the inside candle, so I actually didn't grab any of this long. Didn't grab any of this long. Now we'll see what we get. As you see by the ES chart, if this takes this low, then I think that we've got a credible high. Likewise with NQ, if we run this low, you only got 6 seconds left on it, mind you, but this very well could be the beginning of a pullback, at least down to this. And only because we've actually hit our daily target, so 633. Well, it didn't hit the open, which is a little bit surprising, but we'll see. Itchy nose. And I think if this provides a bounce, it's going to probably V-bottom. I would be shocked if we got accumulation and then we ran it out. That would lead to a really strong movement. You'd likely take those highs. If this V's or you get something like this, then that just trades up into here, and then we're looking lower. Violent. Again, we're kind of looking, right, so that daily area already got tapped into. Sure, a little bit of a V coming in. We're going to figure out exactly how this looks. Whether or not we take this candle's low at 502 remains to be seen. But she is flying. Woo! Wow, nothing doing so far. I did take an aggressive long here after that after that liquidity sweep, but it looks like I might get clapped here depending on how this candle respects. Again, kind of looking for a trade back up to the 30s, 40s, this area here. Okay, I'm break even now. And I'm going to take some off here at the top of this range. Right, this was kind of your little base hit that you've got. This flip potentially being fake depending on the reaction that occurs in here. Very, very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. Sean. Good. Morning, Noob Gaming. What's going on, buddy? If you are long, like this is a good spot for that initial one as well. Again, we've got this high, which like this 5 minute, that low was 41.25. This actually closed at 40.25, so that is a valid high on the 5. Beautiful. We're determining if this V bottom is going to respect this area of interest. If we get some sort of like weak selling, especially above this 5 minute, it's a good spot to take some off, which I have. If this ends up going sideways, then we just lift, and we're obviously quite happy to do that. $10.30's coming in about 3 minutes. So that's a major, major thing to look out for as well. I think they want to see a little bit more than that off of the 5 minute failure. But we'll find out. Nasty business. These dailies. This is shoving lower, lads. But we'll see. I don't think you want this bullish candle really trading through. I think you want it to really lift here. You're going to find out really, really quick. But enjoy the momentum. Enjoy the momentum either way. No flips, nothing like that in here. Right? Valid low, valid high, determining what goes on. But this to me is a structural area of interest. If we were going to snap it, then I'd look for some sort of accumulation which was going to snap it. This particular move where you get this and it flips and this is your structural area, you expect this and then go, and then that creates an SNDR. As it stands right now, this looks like it's going to take the high. As it stands right now. Should at least take this flat top at 72. Morning, Jack. Anybody long? Hopefully you guys aren't short. Why would we not be short? Watch the CSD video. This is exactly when you stay out of trouble, especially in this violent movement. That doesn't mean this movement didn't provide a lot of points, but we're looking at probability, not outcome. Right? Whether we like how it's behaving on the long side or not, you got to look at systematic reasons to get short at all. That is a lovely double top inside of a breaker, but it's got to break structure. As it stands right now, I don't really like it short, if I'm honest. Despite all of this. Exactly. Exactly. I think they got a whole bunch of shorts involved, especially if they're shorting off a higher time frame. Then they run out retail. And away you go. If. If. Couple of double tops here. I do think we run the high, but we're having a lot of difficulty, so I'm taking this off in the mid 80s. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So NQ made a valid high. ES did not. 68.25, closed at 69. 69, 69, 69. We green? We happy? Anybody sitting on their hands waiting for another move? This is not, so like, I suppose this is a good thing as well. We monitor how this is going in, and if you're here and this candle has happened, are you long? Well, probably not. Probably not. What are we looking for? We're gauging a reaction. The same way that we're waiting for a flip, we're gauging the reaction of this movement down. And then you trade back in. And now you're gauging this movement for the flip back through. If this flip hits a 5-minute low and it ends up closing here and that fails, your chances of success are a lot lower. Right? So we monitor this. It's not until we get this and then you can start looking at violent movement. Even here, you don't have an inversion. You can look at this one, but I mean, are you really going to be looking at inversions like that? If you're doing that, you want it to be at the high. So for example, if you're trading an inversion short, fine. Short here, stop above. Right? But like trading an inversion trade like all the way down here with a stop there, I think you're asking for trouble. So this candle would have had to give me an inversion to then tap back into. You'll notice that this movement actually facilitated that imbalance. When that held, this ran, period. Period, period, period. Nothing on, well, you could argue the 2 and your stop goes underneath. Not anything I'm interested in. Those of you guys that love the 3-minute. Oh, you got a valid low on the 3. Who knows, right? But this is wild styles. Yes, I owe you a code, Niznos. I owe you a code. You guys played around with Grok AI? Some wild stuff on Twitter yesterday. Here we go. Anybody going to the moon? Anybody packing a lunch? We'll see. You're your final area of interest now. Not that I would be shoring against it, but these are areas you look for reactions. Hey, Astrophile, what's going on, buddy? Only to build indicators, but it's failed lots. What are we talking about? And I don't think anybody answered the question either. Am I sticking around for a Q&A? Because I'll be happy to leave. Or you guys got some questions that are burning in your minds that you want answers to? ES should absolutely run the high. One of them will for sure. Ah, Grok. Yeah. Elon was talking about Grok 5, and I think Grok 5 is going to be insane. If he thinks it's insane, it's likely going to be insane. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot that we could teach it and just have algorithmic strategies based off of what we do. That'd be wild. It's chopping around. Not exactly. I mean, I think there's some selling in here, right? It's demanding a response. This very well could just be an SMDR, which then runs the daily into the daily zone at 35s, or wherever that daily open is that I don't think we've touched yet. $35 exactly. Wild how we stopped literally 2 points from it in this volatility. VIX is only at 1474, by the way. And this is how violent the market is. Like, okay, trading back down. This is internal structure. Your internal structure will likely facilitate whether this trades back in. That would be around this area anyways. Facilitating yet another movement up. I think this high goes before anything else, at least on one of them. They're pretty much a mirror match of the chart, so if there's going to be SMT, then one of them's to watch out for. You have a valid pullback. If we close above this, then I think we take the high. Seventeens. We grab anything long, lads. Anybody? Winner flips fake, which gives us directional bias. It was the double sweep here that that got me a little bit annoyed. That in here. But other than that, this made a lot of sense. A lot of dollars and cents. No, I'm done for the day already. Awesome. That's awesome. This is not internal structure yet, as we didn't break above this high. We created a valid high and then a valid low immediately afterwards. So this is very likely a range. Neither of them have taken the morning high yet. Extremely high chance of an IB break. Green for the day, green for the week. Let's get some fire for Jack, lads. We get caught up, don't we? And we tend to move the goalposts quite a bit. Okay, I want a green day. Okay, good. And now I want a green week. Okay, good. Now I want a green, how can my month be green? Can my year be green? Then we end up moving the goalposts. But it all starts with each individual day. And there was a conversation that we had, trader that I actually I respect, and Big Mouse, was talking yesterday about, I don't know if he ended up red on the day or not, but when you start talking about streaks, and you're like, okay, I'm green 4 days this week. Well, I mean, why are you counting? What are you counting for? Right? You expect it to end? No, you go in to the next day the same way you approached it before. What's my system? What's my state? You got to have multiple strategies, right? There wasn't really anything in here that was super conducive on your intermediate time frames for candlesticks. Nice, Naisha. All right, so we're continuing with our SNDR. One of them is going to run the high. It looks like it's going to be ES first. ES first at 86s. But my guess is they both run it, as it's a key area on both. $6.35. Is it on deck? Here goes ES's highs. I'm super proud of my trading today. Kept the emotions in check and played what I knew was a high probability. That's the way. How did that feel? Was that effortless? Right? And the way to tell if there's something going on like that is that if you read the chart at the end of the day and you're seeing your system all over the place and you're not taking those trades. Like, for example, if there was like a clean flip here inside of your area of interest, and that's your system, and you're noticing that here or at the end of the day, then you know it's something emotional where you've got a framing of what's going on here. Maybe you're looking at this going, well, it's just so violent. I don't want to be taking longs off of it, even though it gives you a beautiful systematic trade. That's emotional. That's a problem, right? Or if you're having difficulty holding for non-systematic reasons. So that's beautiful. I'm green for the week, but I passed my ETF challenge. I won when Canwell was live with us. Hey! He would love to hear that. Give him a shout out. If you tag me on Twitter, and tag him as well. I'll give you a shout out as well. That's awesome. Love seeing that. I'm pumped to have a couple small red days this week. Before, those were full tilt days progress. Yes. Absolutely that is. Absolutely that is. Right? Progress is not always, I've got to go from $500 to $1,000. I love seeing you guys succeed. Out of pure curiosity, was it a lot of the discussions during the lives? At the risk of, if it's no, then be gentle. Be gentle. But hopefully the live streams have helped you guys with directional bias and at least invalidations and whatnot as well. Right? There was a couple of monster days this week. Who's doing You guys doing the mental game protocols on school? That's pretty much me done for the day, by the way, lads. Like, I'll watch how this plays out now that we've hit that daily open. Again, we've kind of got your major intermediate time frame movement, right? We'll see if this ends up closing above or not. But as soon as we validated that 5-minute low, at least on NQ, she was going to get rough, right? So we very well could sweep this and then attack this 15-minute flat bottom. We'll see. But and now what? I guess we just kind of wait for a noon curve and whatnot, eh? I don't have much time before work and don't want to rush and be silly. Yeah, fair. Fair. Okay, so we won't do a Q&A today then. That's fine. Fine by me. What studies do you guys want to see on school as well? I think I don't want to be standing when the music stops. I don't want to be the one holding. Right? We've kind of got this now. So if this snaps, then you've got an area for it to trade back up to and then trade lower. Looking at this sort of intermediate time frame sweep. So we'll see what goes on here. You've got a 1-minute protected low. So it very well could just be trading into the midpoint of this current swing. I think these pretty much align, right? So 570-ish. And then you've got about 560. So like kind of this area here is a magnet. But again, this is only like this is a structural area of interest in this internal movement. So you've got your intermediate time frame, which is this. And then inside of that, you've got your lower time frame, which is this. So this would be a break of structure internally. So we'll see. 595. That protected low is 99, or sorry, 79. So we got quite a ways. Does this drop? Do you have a video that breaks down your main strategies? Yeah, we do. We got a few of them. I don't really use the wombo as much as I used to, right? For example, if we use the old wombo combo strategy, that worked out extremely well from here. What I mainly look at is confluence. So I look at if this is a credible high or not. In other words, do I expect this high to go? If the answer is yes, that dictates a lot of where I look to enter. For example, if this was not a credible high, I wouldn't be looking at this trade, or this trade rather, or this would be very, very different. But essentially, we look at areas of structure that are responsible for price movement, and then we've got our CSD video, which talks about delivery and when to stay out of trouble. I didn't focus a lot about entry with that, but you guys that have watched it, what was your guys' thoughts? Is it pretty much like our all-inclusive entry model? We've also got the freedom model as well. But we look for reactions in areas of structure, and then depending on how aggressive or passive you guys are trading, you're looking for confirmations, right? So, okay, strong movement, is this enough? Probably not. There's no real flip that occurs here. Your flip would have been this up here. It wasn't until this held that you'd really be expecting this high to go and then beyond. But even then, that's not exactly the most clean. Right? So this area didn't snap. That's got to snap. And then you trade back in and leave. Otherwise, we're just chopping around with the possibility that this actually runs this high. And we just continue onwards. I think people will be shorting that daily open at 635. Whether or not they're just mitigating their positions. But again, this is why you mark out these daily opens in and these order blocks. Right? That bounced directly off. Now, I mean, 10 points. Who cares about 10 points? Man. But as you can see, it has the potential of being more. Okay. Second sweep inside of this would likely run. Otherwise, I think we're just going to chop around in here. Nothing super high probability. Wouldn't short until you had a break of internal structure at the very least. But we'll put a couple of sort of top-down analysis type things. I think yesterday was very, very clean for a lot of price action. I'll mark that on school. You got about 2 minutes left. I want to see this turn of the hour, and then we'll call it for the day. Yeah, freedom model is really, really nice, especially when it works, right? So it's like, you know, this is a little bit egregious and excessive, but Like, let's say you'd taken that. Well, I mean, that's a 30-point trade immediately, right? But other than after both sides are taken, it's not anything that I'm interested in. Bum, 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 bum. Right? So this was an if. Obviously that hasn't happened. If we would have snapped, then we look to trade back through. Otherwise, we follow what price wants us to do. And so on and so on and so forth. You'll notice the volatility's kind of died down. It's only a 50-point move. Only. Your turn of the hour is going to be about 30 seconds. Ten seconds, rather. Nothing yet. This is really getting lethargic. I guess there's a lot of interest, but that's going to be dangerous if it lets go. And again, we'll be kind of looking at that like mid-60, mid-70 to mid-60 level-ish if it was going to drop. And even then, you got your break of internal structure to facilitate a movement back up, if. But the concern is that daily open that we're now jetting into, and that's your manipulation leg. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, lads. Yeah. I'm going to call it here. Hopefully you guys are green, and you guys ended green this week. A lot of you guys seem to did. I love that. I'm going to be posting a lot on school. And then... yeah, we'll go over a lot of this. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you guys really, really soon. Congrats on the week. Bye.